Do you know what essential items you might be forced to surrender to FEMA in an emergency? Welcome to a world where preparation is key and knowledge is power. We live in times where unexpected situations can arise at any moment, and being prepared is no longer a choice, but a necessity. In this enlightening discussion, we will walk you through 7 crucial must-haves that could be seized by FEMA during an emergency. We're talking about items ranging from your emergency food stash to vital survival gear. This countdown is not meant to scare you, but to arm you with the knowledge you need to navigate any possible predicaments. So whether you're an experienced prepper or a newcomer to the game, this countdown is an essential part of your preparedness journey. Now that you know what's coming, let's dive into the items on our list. Starting from the least, the 7th item on our list is fuel. Now, fuel, as we know, is the lifeblood of our modern society. It powers our vehicles, heats our homes, and in emergencies, it can mean the difference between staying put or getting to safety. But did you know in a state of emergency, FEMA might require your stored fuel? It's because fuel is crucial for running emergency services, transportation, and relief efforts. So how can you prepare for this? Well, consider diversifying your energy sources. Solar power, wind energy, or even manual generators could be viable alternatives. Also, remember to store your fuel safely and legally. Overstocking could not just invite FEMA's attention, but it's also a safety hazard. Having a fuel reserve is important, but it's equally important to have a plan B, so brace yourself for the possibility that your fuel stash might not always be in your control. Keeping additional fuel might seem like a good idea, but remember, it could be one of the first things you have to give up. Next up at number 6, we have radios and communication devices. Now, when the unexpected strikes, communication becomes a lifeline. Radios and other communication devices help you stay connected with the outside world, receive crucial updates, and even call for help if necessary. But why might FEMA require these devices? Simply put, in a large-scale emergency, centralized communication is key to coordinating relief efforts and preventing misinformation. Your personal devices might be requisitioned to aid in this process. So, how can you prepare for such an eventuality? One strategy is to have a backup, a spare radio or communication device that you can switch to if needed. Another is to familiarize yourself with alternative communication methods such as signal flares or smoke signals. These could be invaluable in a pinch. While they are crucial for staying updated, your radios and communication devices might not be yours to keep. Coming in at number 5, we have your food supplies. In the throes of an emergency, food isn't just sustenance, it's a lifeline. It's the fuel that keeps you going when everything else is uncertain. And it's precisely for this reason that FEMA might require it. During large-scale disasters, providing for the hungry becomes a primary concern. Your well-stocked pantry might be seen as a community resource, a means to help many survive, but don't despair. You can prepare for such an eventuality without compromising your survival. Start by diversifying your food storage, include non-perishable items and long-lasting alternatives. Think canned goods, dehydrated fruits, and vacuum-sealed meals. These can be easily replaced and won't significantly dent your emergency stockpile. Also, consider growing your own food. A well-maintained garden can provide a continuous supply of fresh produce, proving invaluable in long-term survival situations. Your food stocks are vital, but they might be a sacrifice you need to make. At number 4, we have generators. These are the unsung heroes when it comes to emergency preparedness. They provide that crucial power supply when the grid fails, keeping your lights on, your food cold, and your communication devices charged. But why might FEMA require your generator? Well, in a widespread disaster, power becomes a communal need. Your generator might be used to power emergency shelters, hospitals, or other critical facilities. This is where your preparation comes in. Having a backup generator or alternative power sources can ensure you're not left in the dark. It's also vital to know your rights and the local laws. In some areas, authorities cannot legally commandeer personal property without compensation or due process. Keep this in mind and consider seeking legal advice if you're a serious prepper. Your generator could be a lifeline, but it's also a key item that might be called for. So prepare wisely and stay ahead of the game. Taking the 3rd spot on our list, we have firearms. Now, firearms can be a crucial part of emergency preparedness, especially when it comes to personal protection and hunting. Their role during a crisis cannot be overstated. However, in the event of a large-scale disaster, you may be required to surrender them to FEMA. Why might this be the case? Well, in an effort to maintain public safety and order, FEMA could deem it necessary to collect firearms. This is a controversial topic and not all agree with this potential measure. Regardless, it's essential to be prepared for this possibility. How can you prepare? One way is to invest in non-lethal self-defense tools and methods. Another is to learn survival skills that don't rely on firearms, such as stealth, evasion, and hand-to-hand combat. Firearms can provide a sense of security, but they might not remain in your possession. Remember, knowledge and adaptability are your most potent tools in any emergency situation. Almost at the top, at number 2, we have your medical stockpile. It's no secret that in a crisis, medical supplies can mean the difference between life and death. From bandages to antibiotics, these items are crucial for handling injuries, illnesses, and maintaining overall health. But why would FEMA require them, you ask? In extreme situations, public health can quickly deteriorate. Having access to a wide range of medical supplies can help agencies like FEMA manage such crises more effectively. They can distribute these resources where they're needed most, potentially saving countless lives. Now, how should you prepare for this? Well, maintaining a balanced stockpile is key. Keep a broad range of supplies to cater for various medical needs. And remember, always keep a personal stash that's separate from your main stockpile. This way, even if you do have to surrender some supplies, you won't be left high and dry. Your medical stockpile could be a lifesaver, but it's also a high priority item for FEMA. And finally, at number 1, the most important item you might have to surrender is bottled water. The significance of water to human survival is immeasurable. It's not just about quenching thirst. Water is vital for cooking, cleaning, and medical purposes. And in a crisis situation, access to clean, safe water becomes even more critical. But here's the catch. In an emergency, FEMA might require your bottled water. Why, you ask? Well, in a disaster, providing everyone with clean drinking water becomes a top priority. And while FEMA does have resources, they might need to pool together all available supplies, including yours, to ensure the well-being of everyone involved. It's a challenging predicament, isn't it? On one hand, you've responsibly stored water for your family's survival, and on the other, you're asked to give it up for the greater good. It's a tough call, but there are ways to navigate this situation. One way to prepare for this possibility is to diversify your water storage methods. Don't rely solely on bottled water. Consider other options like water purification tablets, life straws, or even a well if your property allows for it. Another strategy is to store water in different locations. Having all your water in one place makes it more susceptible to being confiscated. But if you have supplies in different locations, you increase your chances of retaining some for your personal use. Lastly, always keep a low profile about your prepping activities. The less people know about your resources, the lesser the chances of them being requisitioned. Remember, the goal isn't to hoard or deprive others of essentials, but to ensure your family's survival while also contributing to the community's well-being. Water is life, and in an emergency, it could be the first thing you'll have to part with. But with the right strategies, you can navigate this eventuality while still keeping your family safe and hydrated. So there we have it, the 7 prepping must-haves you could be forced to surrender to FEMA. We've journeyed through the landscape of emergency preparedness, from the vitality of fuel, the importance of radios and communication devices, to the essentiality of food. We've explored the significance of generators in times of crisis, the contentious issue of firearms, and the life-saving potential of a medical stockpile. Not forgetting, of course, the all-important bottled water, the most basic yet most crucial element of survival. It's clear that preparedness is a multifaceted endeavor. It's not just about stockpiling, but also about understanding the nuances of possible scenarios and how to navigate them effectively. This knowledge is your strongest asset in ensuring your survival and safeguarding your supplies. Remember, being prepared is not just about having supplies, but also understanding the possibilities. Stay safe, stay prepared, and until next time, keep prepping.